Finding my intro. There it is. Let's go. Get ready to kick off your week with Weeksauce. And if you enjoy this show, find more podcasts like it over at amove.tv. Happy Monday and welcome back to Weeksauce with me, Garrett Weinzierl, and my co-host, as always, Kyle Ferguson. Welcome back, dude. Happy Monday. How you doing?
Morning, Garrett.
You look cold, Kyle.
It's cold here.
You look like you don't live in Florida.
No. I am on the Washington coast. It's a cold breeze this morning. Real pretty, though. And, yeah, it's getting into it. It's getting into spooge and tree season, basically.
Very nice, very nice. Well, how was your weekend, sir? Because Westworld is back as of last night, and I spent my morning trying to type up notes and theories for Embrace the Spoilers, because it's returning to cover Westworld weekly, and my brain hurts. I had everything. Nothing is real. Everything is potentially lying to me, and yeah, my brain's in a million different places.
Fair enough. It's easy to get screwed up by TV shows, and I'd say that's the reason I avoid the most when I'm talking to people. You know, I don't want to watch people be bad. I just don't want to watch, people have to pay for cancer treatment with drug money. But I think what it really is, I just don't want to be exposed to really odd questions in my life, and I'd rather go day to day with some amount of confidence.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Because the funny thing is what kept me up last night turned out not to be Westworld. We had a long Sunday, and watched Westworld, had a good time, enjoyed it. Fell asleep pretty well. Did something I don't usually do. I woke up at 5 a.m., Kyle, and had trouble falling back to sleep. Usually, if I have trouble falling asleep, it's at the beginning. Can't fall asleep, and that's the problem. I never wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I usually barely remember it. I'm usually right back to La La Land. But as I was falling asleep last night, Kyle, the Imagination Land episodes of South Park were rerunning, and I woke up at 5 a.m. and I could not stop singing the Imagination song in my brain.
You mean the Imagination?
Yes. So if you could imagine, if you want to know what my evening was like, imagine yourself awake at about 5 in the morning, recanting the Imagination song from South Park in your head.
See, to me, there's only one Imagination song, and it goes, "A dream can be a dream come true with just that spark, with me and you, two tiny wings." You know what I'm doing, right? I was big
no.
and yellow. It's
I've
Epcot.
Absolutely no clue. It's from
No?
Epcot?
Figment. He was the shit.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
The little dragon at Epcot off to the side. It was in the glass building and they replaced it with Gene Wilder, right? Isn't that his name?
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I didn't go to Epcot until I was an adult, and all I do there is eat and drink.
And
maybe
I guess,
ride Test Track if the wait is shorter than 2 hours.
Yeah, when you do drinking around the world, there's no real time for the tour of vegetables.
Oh, I don't do that either. I still have yet to drink around the world. We'll pick a country, we go eat there, and then we usually get a beer in Germany.
Well, you done missed out. You missed out on Figment, man. They took it away many years ago.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Ride the new one. It's okay. It's all right.
Okay, I'll maybe check that out the next time I go.
There's no line. It's pretty lame. So.
That's great. Well, yeah. Besides that, I had a good weekend. Westworld was fun. I've been rewatching a select few of the Marvel films because Infinity War is right around the corner. You ready for that?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. That's a lot of buildup. There's a lot of fluff at this point, but we'll see if they can turn it into an actual story.
You know, I've been thinking about it lately, and I know you and Kristen have some of the most unpopular opinions about pop culture that I know of, and I was curious where you fall on this whole Marvel thing.
I mean, Kristen is thrilled to pieces about every single Marvel movie you can get your hands on.
Oh, really?
I know that for me, I am very accepting to people not being into what I'm into because that was my life for such a long time. So maybe to some people, something like Doctor Strange was a throwaway movie. I thought that's probably my favorite one at this point. If you don't take into account what the others did, like Iron Man starting this whole thing up. I mean, he's got tons and tons of bonus points for doing that one. I love that movie. But yeah, if Kristen loves Bucky, she loves Captain America, all the sort of main characters. I'm just curious to see if they can pull it off. This was 10 years in the making. And then what do you do afterwards? That's the bigger question. I think they can do this because they've been planning for it. But are they going to ruin it with their own, and then after that?
Well, there's definitely going to be an after that. I mean, we already know that multiple movies are planned. I mean, see, Infinity War, we already know after Infinity War, we're getting Ant-Man and the Wasp, we're getting Captain Marvel, we're getting the second Infinity War movie that they've announced that they're going to rename but haven't announced the name for it. And also a Spider-Man sequel and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are confirmed.
Okay, but no Iron Mans and Captain Americas and all that sort of business.
Nothing so far, but it's gonna happen, right? Like, there's no way they don't make more of those movies at some point.
I guess it's a lot of the victories and how you end,
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they can end it, right? Like, and that I don't know. Like, at what point you got to think about it in terms of comics, right? At a certain point, even the comics are like, yeah, we're done now. Time for a reboot. We've gone too far. It's too inaccessible to hop on. If you weren't already into this, we're gonna wipe the slate clean, and here we go. I just don't see that end in sight for Marvel yet.
Weird. I respect so much when a story makes the choice to end. And even something like Calvin and Hobbes, where the guy was just like, yeah, that's it. And, I could do more snowman adventures. We could have more spaceman spiff, but I'm done.
All right.
And maybe that was exhaustion. But maybe that was the simple looking forward and saying, hey, this doesn't really have anywhere else to go. And yes, we can stretch it. Like, I don't know how someone like Phil Watterson made simple puns for so many years, but my God, that had to get stressful.
Probably. Probably. But you're right. I mean, part of what makes Calvin and Hobbes so special is that it's over, right? We have all the Calvin and Hobbes we will ever get.
So you sent me a list of all the movies.
Yeah. So I've been doing this fun. I lost your camera, by the way. I've been doing this fun exercise, kind of out of necessity because I don't have time to rewatch all the Marvel movies before Infinity War. But I've been going through and I've kind of unintentionally come up with what I think are required watching. And I was curious what your thoughts were on my picks, or if you disagree.
Go for it.
So I think obviously the first Iron Man, you got to watch that because, in my opinion, it's the only good standalone Iron Man movie, and also the one that launched all of these.
Sure.
Okay, cool. I think you can skip the Hulk. I think you can skip Iron Man 2. At this point, I feel like you can skip Thor. I really liked it at the time. I don't think you need to rewatch it if you've seen it.
Yeah, I'd agree to that. I think Thor 1 would be more important if we didn't relearn that lesson every movie with Thor.
What? Stop. It's not all about you?
Yeah, basically. That you're not as powerful as you thought you were. You're not the center of the attention.
things proceed without you, so on and so forth.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I really do like Thor 1 though. If I'm coming up with I need to watch these in a week list, Thor doesn't make the cut, and neither does Captain America: The First Avenger. Even though I would argue here that this is probably required watching. I just like the other two Captain America movies so much more, and I get the gist of it that I'm skipping it.
Oh wait. Oh, I guess Civil War is a Captain America movie. I'd call that an Iron Man biz.
Oh, he's barely in it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all on.
I don't know. Maybe I like Captain America with clearer villains. It's a struggle I'm having within our There Be Dungeons D&D campaign. Gorath does such a great job writing the kind of BioWare-y, very HBO sort of stories where it's like, is everybody wrong? Is everyone evil? And I'm just like, just send a zombie in, man. Let's beat its ass. You forget that in sci-fi or even, this kind of Western idea that things can be so complicated. And in fantasy, the great thing about a monster, particularly something made of evil, and all the priests of Bunzador are like, it's evil. You're like, hell yeah, kick its ass. So I think that's what I'm excited about for the new movie is a hell yeah, kick its ass moment. Same thing that happened with Thor Ragnarok. But Civil War, everything gets so complicated. Though that's definitely, it is the favorite movie in this house. I don't even know if I like Civil War or if I like Winter Soldier anymore. It's just been seen so many times. I've been punched so many times after it that I know it's great.
I've only seen Civil War once. We're halfway through our rewatch of that. Not Civil War, sorry, Winter Soldier. Found out I didn't own it, thought I did, had to go buy it. Started it, was kind of tired. It's on pause. We'll pick it up tonight, actually. But damn, I love Winter Soldier. That movie is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
All the Bucky stuff.
Yep. Obviously can't skip the first Avengers. Got to watch that. Skipping Iron Man 3, even though I think the first half of that movie's great, and I do not give a crap about the back half of it.
I'll feel you there. Yeah.
I love the stuff with the kid in the garage. Like that is some like top tier Robert Downey Jr. That's some good stuff. But that is a lame villain. I am sorry. I don't care about the villain in that movie. Dark World, I'm skipping it. Winter Soldier, currently watching it. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, going to watch that. I'm going to watch the second Avengers, even though I don't really care for it, just because I haven't seen it since it was in theaters. And I feel like I need a refresher on that one.
What's the second Avengers? Oh, that's, yes, Ultron.
Yeah, that's with Ultron. Yep. Skipping Ant-Man. Gonna watch Civil War. Skipping Doctor Strange, not because I don't love it, but I've seen it relatively recently. I love Doctor Strange. I'm with you on that one. I think it's one of the better ones because it's weird and creepy in a way that I really enjoy.
It's just so fun.
Yeah. Oh, I know why you like it, man. It's like eldritch horror at the end of that.
Totally. Wizard Central.
Yep. It's wonderful. I'm going to skip Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Love it, but I've seen it recently. I'm probably going to skip Spider-Man for the same reason. Ragnarok I'm going to rewatch just because I haven't seen it since theaters. And just feel the need to rewatch that one. Black Panther, just saw it in the theater. So, yeah. I think my required watching was, so first Iron Man to recap. Kyle's walking away, so I'm going to recap this. I'm going to watch the first Iron Man, or already did, the first Avengers, Winter Soldier, first Guardians of the Galaxy, second Avengers, Civil War, and Ragnarok. That's going to be my personal rewatch. I'm going to finish up this week before Infinity War. I'm going to pause here because Kyle is taking a bathroom break. Aw, yeah. Viking Nerd. No, Kyle does not always stand. He just stands for this show because Kristen uses the room he usually records in for her stream on Monday mornings. So he is he's hanging out, I believe, in his living room. Well, while he's gone, I'm going to go grab a snack. I'll be right back. If Kyle and Kristen put a standing desk in their streaming room, I was not aware of it. But yeah, my desk goes up and down, so I'm standing right now. And just depends on how I feel. I find standing for the morning shows help a lot because I'm tired in the morning, and this helps me wake up. No, I'm not standing because Kyle is. I'm standing just because in the morning it helps me be energized. I love that Kyle does this show so early, but it also means we're kind of at the whim of his biological needs.
All right. Thank you.
No problem, man. It must have been an intense bathroom trip because your hoodie is no longer on.
Yes. It did warm up in here. I had the heat on. but you can read into it however you want. If you want to imagine whatever heat stroke you can imagine, go for it.
Well, I'm just finishing up a snack of pretzels.
Sweet.
So, yeah. So, all right. In case you're wondering where to come in, I just finished recapping the movies I'll be watching.
Cool.
So, yeah. we'll restart this with. So, I'm assuming anything other than Doctor Strange in here, dude, that you're just like, no, you're terrible. How dare you skip that?
Nah, this is a fine list. I honestly haven't seen Ant-Man. That's my bad. I should sit down and watch it. Yeah, I'd never seen Iron Giant until this week either. So I think both Chris and I do have a bit of a problem where we do make up our decisions about movies well before we see them. In particular, I know we're both rather sensitive to movies that came out right in like 1999 because all the popular kids would show up. This was, Austin Powers, Matrix kind of time period, right around that time Iron Giant came out. And all the kids would show up and be like, oh, I cried at the end. I was so emotional. And you're just like, you don't cry. You're a jerk. You don't even know how to cry.
You went to school with some weird kids. I had never heard anyone say that in 99.
What, that they had cried and how wonderful the movie was and how much they bawled?
Everyone was supremely douchey to me, trying way too hard to be cool, and they were all terrible people, and I hope I never see them again.
So 2000, but that would have been like 13. So we hadn't quite reached the douchedom of high school yet. We were still in middle school, and everything was a contest.
Middle school was infinitely worse for me than high school. High school was really chill. I made a lot of good friends.
Fair. It was the other way around for me.
Yeah. I got bullied a lot in middle school. It was not a good time. And then I was really annoyed when the prequel started up and all the kids that, made fun of me suddenly liked Star Wars.
Yeah. They also thought if they had new shoes, they could run faster. So, screw them.
Yep, pretty much. So that's why you didn't see the Iron Giant? Because you were in a completely different school than I was, where people were claiming to have cried during it?
Yeah, well, around that Austin Powers Matrix kind of time period, there was suddenly a lot of movies that I wasn't making it to. And they would quote it to death. By the time you saw it, it was so built up. I mean, that's where that comes from with me. Is, when I was younger, people built these things up, and oftentimes they were just bad movies that somehow just got on the popular train.
Yeah, I I remember that with Austin Powers because I wasn't allowed to see Austin Powers at the age I was at in 99. God, were we 13 in 99? I feel like I was younger, but yeah, wasn't allowed to see it. I want to say around the time of the sequel, like my parents didn't give a crap anymore, and it was a big thing with my cousins who I grew up with, and so Austin Powers is a little more endearing to me because of that kind of relationship with it. Same with Ace Ventura. Like that, I used to watch a lot of really stupid comedies growing up with my my cousins. So I have a lot of those dumbass comedies are near and dear to my heart. The same thing with the early Adam Sandler stuff, you know, like your Happy Gilmores and whatnot.
Totally.
But yeah, man, that is you're telling me people like going on and on about their emotional reactions to Iron Giant is the most alien thing you could have told me.
I mean, I know that both Kristen and I went to not exactly private schools, but the newer built schools where all the kind of like programs ended up, like the good theater programs or the good math program. And it just left a lot of snooty kids.
Sounds like it. That is just bizarre. Yeah, that stuff for me didn't come around until I was in college because I went to art school. So like all anyone did was talk about animated films, and the Iron Giant was a big one. Actually, the first time I saw it was in college.
How many? What's his name? Miyazaki. How many Miyazaki fights did you get into?
Not many. We pretty much all agreed that Grave of the Fireflies is one of the most depressing movies you could possibly ever watch. And that Princess Mononoke, albeit most people's first anime, is still one of the better ones.
Yeah, I'd say so. There's a like festival like every year up here.
Yeah.
For him and
is there? Okay. They're doing one. I think our local AMC is doing a Miyazaki event. May have already happened.
Pretentious. Didn't go to that thing.
Probably. I don't know. I've never been to one for Miyazaki films, but we've gone and seen like premieres of Doctor Who on the big screen, and those are fun because like the hardcore fans are out and you make friends. It's like, you know, it's very similar to going to BlizzCon, but a lot smaller and in a movie theater. But you know, the person to your left and the person to your right that you do not know, you have a shared interest. But yeah. So you saw Iron Giant. Did you like it?
It was decent. It was a bit better than I expected. I thought all the voice acting did really well. The animation was very on point, particularly for the time period. You know, Vin Diesel was adorable. You gotta love him.
Yeah, I always forget that he did that. Yeah, I mean it's Brad Bird, and Brad Bird is a hell of a writer.
Yeah, the Incredibles guy, and I didn't know about that, but you can see a lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. He is really good at using everything he sets up. And he'll set up some, flashlight 10 scenes earlier, like, okay, they own a flashlight, thanks. But then they use the flashlight. You're like, well, I'm glad you showed me. That makes sense now. And his camera always kind of lingers on things, and you're like, why? A pair of scissors? That's why we had pair of scissors for the final fight. Thank you, sir. So it really, really solid stuff. I thought that he flew into something more important this many years later. I knew that I'm Superman and sacrificed himself in some way, but I thought it was a bit more impactful. I mean, great. He saved a whole town, right? From a nuke, and it worked well with the time period they set the show in, but I thought he flew into the alien mothership, or at least somehow stopped a global catastrophe.
Oh, see, no, I like the more, I don't know, constrained nature of it. It's very E.T. in that way.
Yeah.
Like, at no point does E.T. save the world. It's just about this connection between the main character and the alien. Actually, yeah. Man, whoa. Now that I think about it, is Iron Giant just a better version of E.T.? I think it might be.
It's pretty close. They don't get a life bond of any kind, which is always really weird in the first place.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't mind it when it's like a spoken debt, like Han Solo and Chewbacca, but I don't need some weird actual like otherworldly connection.
We went to the zoo this last week. It was Kristen's birthday, and they had a statue to their previous walrus, who was named E.T. I assume because he had such creepy bug eyes.
Walruses are kind of creepy up close, just like E.T.
Yeah. They're amazing. There's one there named Dozer. He wouldn't stop whistling. He was adorable. Apparently, It is now past February, well past the walrus mating season, but there was 2 ladies back in the den. They didn't want to come out that day, so he sat outside the door whistling inside, suggesting how fun he was having. And eventually he grabbed a toy and started banging it on the glass, trying to get them to come out, hang out with him.
I'm glad that we both had a weird, different weeks where we kind of dropped off the face of the earth for a little bit and spent time with our significant others, because that's what I did with Katie, because she'd been gone for 2 weeks. We went out yesterday, and I'm pretty sure we taught her how to drive stick shift.
Nice.
I'm very excited. I'm very proud. She carted me around in the Mustang all day and didn't stall once.
That's impressive.
Pretty sure we burnt up a little bit more clutch than it would have than we would have usually, but yeah, it went pretty well.
Well, no killer hills in Florida for the most part, so that helps.
No, yeah, it's a good place. It's a good place to learn stick, even if an 8-cylinder Mustang is probably not the best first car to learn on. It's a little jerky if you're not careful on the clutch.
I could imagine.
Yeah, but it was a good time. But so what spurred you to watch The Iron Giant?
Well, we finally saw Ready Player One.
Oh, there it is. There's the topical conversation.
Of the adventure of the birthday celebration where we went to the zoo and then we went to the movies.
Okay, gotcha. So now I feel like this is a load of. It was on Kristen's birthday. So was it a good birthday or a bad one because of Ready Player One?
No, it was a great birthday. I was very, very proud. I pulled it off without a hitch, and she got to choose the movie. You know, I lined up different times for Black Panther, Ready Player One, or A Quiet Place. But she didn't know Quiet Place was actually a monster flick. She assumed that it was a drama or a horrific drama where, you know, someone's in your house, like Firewall, right? Like, it's not really horrifying, it's just kind of messed up.
Not sure what Firewall is, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's the Harrison Ford, you got my family, but I'm not a badass this time.
Oh, gotcha. That's one of the Harrison Ford movies I haven't watched because it looked lame.
I wouldn't say lame, just supremely unfun, you know, nothing like being reminded how insignificant you are if someone busts in your house and ropes up your fam, but which one would you rather have? Like the cosmic you don't matter or the you don't got a gun right now, you don't matter? Both are unfun.
Fair enough. So what did you think of Ready Player One? I mean, without getting too spoilery.
It was enjoyable. It was readable, as a Steven Spielberg film is. I loved the creator of the world, the Steve Jobs type.
Oh.
He just sold the whole film.
He was. I really enjoyed what they did with him. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm trying to remember who the hell played him. Pulling up IMDb right now because the name is eluding me.
Well, he's an actor. He was in Dunkirk, I believe, as one of the really heavy performance generals.
He's the old dude on the boat that's taking Sandman back to the war.
Yeah, that's right. The dad. Yeah,
Mark Rylance. Mark Rylance is the guy's name. And
so he's got some serious chops, and boy, in my opinion, did he carry that film. I have discovered that, you know, when watching different things, much like we talked about with you and Art, and seeing a movie like Blade Runner, where if it's pretty, it can be a great movie, even though there are lots of other aspects I would see wrong with it. And I'm an actor kind of viewing person.
I would say you're reducing it a bit, because I would say Prometheus is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. But if you ask me, I think it's a shit movie.
Sure. Like there of course are aspects that can override your preference. You know, for Kristen, it's story, but if there are other elements that are greater than that, then we can put aside our preferences. You know, we have friends in Seattle that we see movies with who are lighting designers. And if the scene ain't lit well, they're pretty pissed off because it seems so simple to them. It's what they know and what they can deduce. So for me, there was a lot of acting trouble in Ready Player One. And I had a tough time holding on to that thread, but the main guy sold it so hard that I was really able to continually kind of get back into it, particularly because who wouldn't want a freaking wizard avatar? That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's directly from the book. I mean, quite a few things were kind of swapped up in ways I understand, and honestly don't really bother me for the most part.
Well, I'm very sad to learn that this is not a 70s looking into the future book. This is like 2011 that this was written.
Yes, it is. And there were already like certain updates in the movie from the book, because there's already certain things that seem kind of outdated. I was joking. It's funny because I don't believe it's a spoiler to say like there's a Minecraft reference in the first 5 minutes of the movie. And sure. I feel like if this movie was made 1 year later, it would have been a Fortnite reference.
Maybe, right? I mean, I think the most difficult one to swallow for me was, there she goes. I watch her Twitch.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
30 years
those
in the
kind
future,
of things.
bro. Like, there she goes. I love MSN News. Like,
well, you caught one of them. That's an update for the movie. In the book, it's I love her blog.
Yeah.
Like it's that simple of, and that's fine. Like that kind of shit doesn't really bother me that much. The Twitch, like I was like, oh come on, this is corny. But honestly, the blog in the book was probably corny if I was reading it at the time. I read it like a month ago, and I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense for when this came out. It didn't really bother me. So maybe the Twitch reference shouldn't bother me as much.
I don't know. I'm still really confused that it was made that modern. I feel like maybe the Ready Player One thing is strictly an arcade reference. And anyone who makes that reference nowadays is only having a baby. And I'm really confused on that one.
What? The arcade references?
Yeah, well, the Ready Player 2 when you're having a baby. Like, shouldn't it be Player 3? What?
I have not. Again, you've lost me. You are apparently social with people that don't act the way I expect them to.
You've never seen anybody announce a baby with a Ready Player 2? Or
No.
a wedding, perhaps?
Nope. No one I know that is cool, apparently, is having children.
You think that's cool?
No, it's a reference I would get. Everyone on my Facebook that announces their baby announces them in ways that just make me want to groan and vomit in my mouth.
How did they do it?
When I saw was freaking like, I don't know, cakes and then a cupcake, or pumpkins and a little pumpkin, or pie and a slice of pie. Like a lot of it is edible.
Oh.
Like I don't know and I don't care, and just I would so much rather just see an ultrasound, because I think that's kind of cool. like I don't really care about your cute Disney reference to announce your baby. But
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. I love Soldier Hawk in the chat room. I hate babies, Garrett 2018. Yeah, no one. At this point, I would be really excited about a vaguely nerdy reference baby announcement, because the stuff I'm seeing, I'm just like, why am I friends with you on Facebook? Because you're apparently the worst.
Fair enough.
I hate baby announcements, and I hate Facebook. I don't know why I still have it. It is a terrible, terrible place to be. I have muted my entire family because I don't want to hear their opinion. And yeah, I pretty much go there just for Chihuahua videos.
You get those other places. It's okay to delete, move on.
Yep, exactly. I don't know why I still use it. Although I've almost beaten it down to the point where it's nothing but just a pure surge of happiness.
I remember when I used to go seeking the Jimmy Russells. You know, it wasn't that long ago, 2 years even. I can think back and how much a bit farther than that, but how much I would enjoy Reddit and social media websites. And now I feel I'm so protected. I've got TweetDeck going. I do a lot to make sure I don't see random upsetting news in my day. And I can only imagine that Facebook would here's the personal version of upsetting news.
Actually, yes, you've hit the nail on the head, because you know how we go to Reddit and our reaction is, wow, random people are terrible. Facebook is that, but people you know. It's like, wow, my immediate family members are terrible. I don't need that. I don't need, like, I still read the news. I keep myself informed. I think it is perfectly fair, and I would argue healthy, to curate your social experience, to mute and block certain people. Because if you acted the way some of these people act on Facebook to me in person, I wouldn't hang out with you anymore. I wouldn't go to the bar and say hi to you. We wouldn't have you over for board game night. So why am I exposing myself to you on a virtual platform?
Yeah, a lot of that too is something that I feel, at least I'm a very kind of like handshake kind of person. I want, formal introduction, nice, formal. And when we become like friends, you get a formal introduction to friendship from me. Like, I'm kind of lame like that. Like, I will actually sit you down and be like, I really enjoyed hanging out. You're my friend now. We've upgraded from acquaintances. Let's be friends. And so much of what people argue about on the internet, I'm like that is the next handshake on top of that. That is when we say we are such good friends that we will now discuss life's intricacies and what could potentially piss each other off really badly.
And I would still rather have that conversation in person than in text.
There's an energy exchange there that's very important. And
tone is very important.
Yeah. But Ready Player One. Biggest problem with the whole movie, and this is going to be a spoiler, so spoiler alert.
All right, jump ahead. Let's say 5 minutes, starting now. Go.
No proton pack. What the heck?
No proton pack?
Yeah. Nobody picked up anybody via Ghostbusters proton pack and slammed them into a wall or busted them in any way. Like, that's the gun I'd be wielding in my little scroll menu there.
Oh, so you're just mad that there was you're literally mad about one specific thing that you wanted to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I like you, Kyle. That's a bit petty.
Hey man, it's a pile of references and
okay. Whoa, hold on. I'm going to give you something. It is a pile of references that Warner Brothers has the rights to.
And some others, but yes, they're a really interesting pile of choices when it comes to the references too, right?
No, it's all just what Warner Brothers had the rights to. Like, a lot of them, they tried to do what they could from the book, but there's just a lot of stuff they're not going to be able to get the rights to. Like, the book has a ton of Star Wars references, and I was reading the book. As I was reading the book, knowing the movie was coming out, I was just like, that's not going to make it. That's not going to make it. That's not going to make it.
Well, according to the trivia, Spielberg wanted in the forefront movies to have some spotlight as well. So he actually purposely, if not just to sleep at night because Star Wars didn't let him, limited the Star Wars interactions heavily.
Oh, I just assumed it was Disney wasn't going to let him use it because there's not any Star Wars references in the movie.
He says, would you like the Millennium Falcon to the kid? I can get you that. Okay,
well, yeah, you can invoke it, but you can't show it. Like, we didn't see the Millennium Falcon. In the book, the main character has an X-Wing.
Right, and maybe that's Disney saying no, and maybe that's Spielberg saying, fine, I quit anyway. And this was his response, is that I wanted to give more real estate to films that deserved it and needed the references to themselves. I mean, I think one of the weakest things about the movie was the soundtrack. It could have been a lot more. Particularly, I wanted to hear a flow. I wanted to hear the various themes kind of come in and out. And hey, it almost was and then wasn't a John Williams thing. And that's pretty sad to hear.
I'm really happy because it ended up being a Silvestri thing. And he did the Back to the Future soundtrack. So I was actually really happy with the original score.
It's very generic. And I wish it had tones of the various things we see on screen.
Fair enough. Also, Ghostbusters, I had to look it up. Apparently it looks like it's Columbia, which I don't believe has any affiliation with Warner Brothers. It's a division of Sony.
Yeah, but that's like saying, why do it?
Yeah. Did you catch the Cowboy Bebop ship?
No, but I don't know that ship well enough.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were a Cowboy Bebop fan.
No, I did enjoy the Buckaroo Banzai suit, though.
Ah, see, I haven't seen it yet. Our mutual friend Robert has literally just gifted me the DVD, and I still haven't watched it.
I mean, in terms of like movies with references this week, we also watched Last Action Hero. That was part of the birthday requests. Kristen had not seen it in years, but remembered loving it as a kid, and I had never seen it. Actually, I had watched it multiple times to the point where he's sitting in class, and I just quit every single time. The kid annoys the crap out of me. But we finally made it through Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I love that movie, like in an unironic fashion. Like I know it is
horrible.
Oh, I love it. It's so bad it crosses over into legitimately good in my mind.
It's like half Leslie Nielsen good movie, half great action Arnold classic movie, and the two just don't have a pretty baby.
Was Leslie Nielsen in that?
No, not at all. But
Okay.
A lot of the jokes were very, slapsticky.
Oh yeah, totally.
And some great puns and lots of like Tacona phrase. Like there were some funny ass things in there, but that kid just was awful.
I mean, the kid does suck, but oh my god, Schwarzenegger just it's so funny. I love that movie. I legitimately die every time I watch it. Also, how the hell did Charles Dance have a career after that movie? That's my question about Last Action Hero. I know
Which one was he?
He was the bad guy. He's Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah. That movie looked like it set him back a few years.
Yeah, I always have to remind myself. Oh, that's right. Charles Dance, who I think is an amazing actor and should have been cast as Tarkin in Rogue One, was in Last Action Hero.
I mean, he was acting his butt off. I think he thought there was a different movie being filmed at the time.
Yeah, yep. Which makes it kind of work, oddly.
Yeah,
But still,
campiness that. But I don't know, man. I think Schwarzenegger mixed with the graphics of the time, just weird. I don't have a soft spot for the Mars one either.
Oh, yeah, okay. So if you don't like Total Recall, which I think is one of the greatest films ever made, then yeah, you're not going to like Last Action Hero because you don't like Schwarzenegger schlock.
Commando's real good.
Oh, see, I think Commando is crap. Like, it's not bad enough to be good, and it's definitely not good.
We'll always have True Lies, Garrett.
Okay, all right. We can agree on that because,
Yeah.
man, if I had to... There's two types of Arnold movies. The ones that make you laugh and the ones that are just amazing action films. And Terminator 2 is the creme de la creme, right? Like, that's the safe bet. And I really do think Terminator 2 might be the best action movie ever made, in my opinion. Like, I love that movie. But if I had to just set that aside because it's the easy answer, I would go with Predator. I think Predator is my favorite Schwarzenegger film that I think is just good. And Last Action Hero is my favorite Schwarzenegger film that is just hilarious and also very good.
I can agree with half that.
Okay. Oh, no. True Lies. I would go with True Lies over Last Action Hero.
It depends, like, which level of Arnold you want. That's one of the great things about his career is it is always moving forward, and that's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that The Rock... what's his face is doing another movie where he's trapped in a building in LA.
Yeah, because we need a remake of Die Hard that isn't titled Die Hard.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, but it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't Skyscraper look like the plot of Die Hard?
I guess you're right.
Just with The Rock. I like The Rock, I really do, and they're doing too much, man. Apparently they're moving forward with the Fast and the Furious spinoff, and that just annoys me because I'm a Fast fan. And if you don't have Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez in it, I'm angry. And yeah, and now with Skyscraper and Rampage having just hit and flopped, like I don't know, Rock, man. I think I'm getting too much. I'm getting too much of Dwayne Johnson.
What's the likelihood of enjoying the book for Ready Player One?
I don't know, man. I cannot peg you. Like I cannot get it right when I'm trying to decide will Kyle like this? I went into reading Ready Player One with an agenda. I was pretty sure I was going to hate it. So I went in like ready to hate read this book. And I came away having a really good time. I had a lot of fun with it.
I heard one of the big troubles, if you are nerdy enough, is that a lot of the references are really like, yeah, and this, and this, and this. But then he'll really slow down and be like, but hold on. Here's what an Easter egg is. Yeah, you don't know what that is, do you?
There's stuff like that. It's very minimal, in my opinion, to the overall arc. I mean, if you saw the movie, nothing in the book is really going to surprise you. You just get a lot more of the world. The setup is way better, in my opinion. The very beginning of the book is infinitely better than the movie.
Well, that's what I want. Like, I walked away from this with a hopeful kind of Harry Potter feeling where, yeah, all right, but I really want to know what class is like.
Actually, yes, the class in the beginning of the book. That, for me, that really set up the world really well. What I walked away from is that I really liked the world building in the book, and the movie doesn't have as much of that. It has enough, but not as much as I would have liked. So I don't know. Like it's flawed. Like it's not literary genius, but to me it's a really fun theme park ride.
We ended up watching Pacific Rim last night, and that's a movie too that I wish kind of had a book or an extended version. I don't think there's a ton wrong with it. It's just that the beats hit at the wrong time. I feel like the first fight out there shouldn't have destroyed the Japanese and the Russian robot. Those should have been used at more important points.
Yeah, especially knowing how the movie ends, right?
Right, and then Gypsy Danger's analog comes in play immediately, but after those two have been completely worn out, and then the apocalypse is over, and I feel like we should have had a montage in there to tell me how these guys had gotten better. Also, I remembered how much he's screaming at the girl the whole movie.
There is a lot of that, but I guess I can wave that away as much as I do Shinji in Evangelion, because I hate Shinji with every fiber of my being, and I love Evangelion, whereas the lead in Pacific Rim, I would only find maybe 1/32 as annoying as Shinji.
No, it's true. It's true. But, there's lots of like, did you know I hate carrots? Of course I did. I was in your head, man. But then he'll be like, come on, let's go. Get the sword. All right, jump. Go. And I don't know. Maybe that's a problem with me in movies. I hate any time in movies someone says, all right, let's go. I'm like,
I don't know. To me, it was it's funny you bring that up. That is 1-to-1 accurate with what it was like me trying to teach Katie how to drive stick yesterday. It was clutch in, neutral, up to third. I wasn't yelling, but it's basically the same directives.
Right, but you're not connected via computer into each other's heads and sharing memories at the time. That might make this a little less screamy.
True. My eyes were basically glued to the stick to make sure she didn't actually put it in first when we were doing over 40.
You know what I did think was really cool about Ready Player One, though? I thought they handled everything with the VR setups really well. And
yeah,
I didn't have to just suspend my disbelief too much that suspension rig in the car worked.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with the tech. With the main characters. Everything with the people like in the normal world hanging out at a Starbucks playing this game, that bothered me to no end.
Well, that's such a book moment. Like she's going down the road and looks out the window, and everybody's running around in the streets. Like,
but it's not in the book at all.
That's not at all.
No, the book is very faithful to like. No, if you're playing VR, you need a very specific setup. You can't just run down the sidewalk without getting hit by a car.
Yeah,
it's not in the book at all.
It did get me really excited for the future. I watched a bunch of VR clips this week. My favorite are the guys who are like playing bowling VR, and then they'll go for the swing and just slam. Not again, and they fall to the ground in pain because they just slammed their wrist in their TV or something like that.
Yeah, you could use more of that. It's good, man. It's good. I had a wonderful segue earlier when you had mentioned exhaustion, but it has gone too far, so I'll just bring up the fact that apparently James Cameron is hoping for Avengers fatigue and believes that there are other sci-fi stories to tell.
I would agree. Isn't that what I was saying this morning when my surprise came through that we would be continuing after it was over?
No, I'm starting to realize more and more, Kyle, that you live under a pop culture rock, because like I'm just sitting here being like, how the hell do you legitimately not know that we're not done with Marvel movies yet?
I'm a hopeful man. Got dreams, you know?
It makes money, man. They're not going to stop.
Yeah.
It's just going to keep going. They're going to keep going until it's over. But come on, really? You don't see anything hysterically hypocritical about James Cameron, of all people, being the one to be like, we need to tell new sci-fi stories. By the way, there's 4 avatars on the docket.
Sure.
And also, he's been quoted as saying he wants to return to the Terminator franchise. So yeah, James Cameron, full of unique ideas.
Yeah, but he does do a good job, and that's going a long time. These Avengers.
Yeah, but is it any better when you take 10 years between movies and don't make new IP?
I don't know. It's so weird to watch things like Pacific Rim, where the graphics and a lot of the acting and the monsters and so many things are really on point, but you just drop in a crucial area. I can see why James Cameron would feel like that, and why he'd be blind to his own projects being these incestuous babies as well.
Fair enough. Like, I don't think he's wrong. I just don't think he is the herald that this discussion deserves.
That's true.
I just find it very funny.
I do believe that he does, as I said, last week, elevate the bar when he puts something out. People copy him for a long time, and I do believe that there was something special about Avatar's use of 3D that hasn't been replicated by another movie yet.
It was cool at the time. I understand what's special about it, and I don't need to see it again.
That's fine. That's my point is that he had a lot of depth, not story-wise in Avatar, but just visually. The 3D was helpful for that film.
Yeah.
And 3D was not helpful for Ready Player One. It was the convenience. The 3D, why not, should be the tagline.
Wait. Well, hold on. When you say 3D, do you mean wearing glasses, or do you mean CG?
I mean CG.
Okay.
I mean actual 3D, like 3D glasses.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything special about Avatar's CG anymore. At the time, it was good. Now I feel like I'm watching a bunch of Gumby cats that are painted blue run around.
But it helped with the sense of scale, and there was a lot of that in that movie that was aided by the 3D execution, is my point.
Gotcha.
I agree with you that this whole 3D, we can all, I think it's not an unpopular opinion to say, 3D, why are we still doing this?
Again, are you talking about glasses, or are you talking about CG?
Well, I have never referred to 3D for CG. I mean 100% glasses in a movie theater.
Gotcha. I don't know. There's plenty of reasons to keep using CG. It's just some movies do it correctly and some movies do not do it correctly. I think Pacific Rim is a movie that does it correctly.
Wait, I'm talking about 3D. We're talking about CG?
You just talked to... Okay, I'm confused now.
I've been talking about 3D this whole time. 3D glasses, 3D, real 3D on the screen coming at you.
It's all dumb, and there's no reason to ever watch it in 3D. There's no reason to see anything in 3D.
Except for maybe original Avatar.
Even then.
But but that's my point. It was used with a purpose there. And I think it was a very self-righteous purpose that James Cameron wanted to show off how amazing he is by doing a 3D movie and having it be useful to the audience. And he also, in the same moment, brought us into this world of constant 3D movies that shouldn't be in 3D.
Fair enough. I feel it's died off pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well.
Movies still come out in 3D, but I don't see it advertised anymore.
And when we talk about CGI is getting a lot better because they're actually going in and making those warps that create good-looking action. Whereas before, we're moving around toys, and it just looks stupid.
Fair enough. Well, now that we're at the end of this point, or it feels like we're at the end of this point, let's restart Skype because you sound terrible.
Okay.
I'll call you back. Skype sucks ass. Yes, it does. Come on, Skype. Wake up. Let's go. Let's go, Skype. Oh, wonderful. And it's going to kill the overlay.
Hello.
You still sound bad. Let's see if it sorts itself. And if it doesn't, I guess this is just how we're finishing the show.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Yeah, you still sound robot-y.
Maybe I can kill my camera?
I mean, try it.
Maybe it's my bits coming through or something?
No difference at all. So go ahead and turn your camera back on.
Could also try a different voice service if you wanted.
Skype is the only one that works for my setup.
Okay.
Everything else causes a loop. So, just gonna have to deal.
Cool.
Alrighty. We'll just keep going. All right, we have tried. Skype is not behaving. This is as good as it's going to get, folks. Shall we take some questions before we wrap this up?
Let's do that.
All right. Write in, amovetv@gmail.com. Subject line Weeksauce if you'd like to get a question in, or you can just tweet at us. True Villain Manny has asked today, many content creators have the great benefit of having their job centered around what they love. Yet, there are times when it still feels like a job. God, that is true, Manny. What do you do for fun when your recreation is your vocation? It's a good question.
It is.
Things that I don't podcast about.
I play a lot of single-player games. I play a lot of very slow games. And I would even call like something like Dark Souls slow. Just methodical. And things that I would never want Twitch chat to comment on. Like card games.
Yeah, I do the same. Over the break, I played a lot of PUBG and what's the grid-based XCOM. Played a lot of XCOM. Still playing quite a bit of PUBG. Don't do a show about that. I don't think you can do a show about that. I know there's shows out there, but boy, you gotta really dig for PUBG to have a conversation beyond, hey, guess what crazy thing happened to me this week?
Oh, they have esports too now, yeah? You can talk about that.
And not really, actually. Not yet.
No?
They're trying.
Yeah.
No, they're trying. It's not there yet. It's definitely not there yet. I want it to be, because I like it enough to watch it, but yeah, I mean, I got the cocktail. I've got the cocktail hobby. I talk about it sometimes on my solo show. I've been taking a break from that recently. So that's something I really enjoy. Spend a lot of time on weekends, trying to make new cocktails, hunting down weird ingredients, stuff like that. And the car thing for us, like Katie and I, we go to a lot of car meets. We go watch races. We've recently started, installing parts into our car on our own. We've kind of accrued a halfway decent little garage. I've got a nice hydraulic jack now. It doesn't take me 20 minutes just to use those stupid little X-stand, like scissor jacks to get our car up. Got jack stands. Got a hell of a socket and wrench set. So I've been doing a lot of that. And not that I wouldn't love to make content about cars, but if for no other reason than it would be really nice to call car parts a business expense.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. We watch a lot of movies too. I mean, mostly it's just avoiding real-time competitive gaming that has to be done, and that's sad. I'd say that's the toughest part, is a lot of the time, particularly when I'm so engrossed in learning how to use the Vegas Studio and just all these projects at the moment in video, I'm spending a lot of time in the game not playing, but I need to not play to make sure that I'm able to play later on. And that's the roughest part is learning what my tolerance, my stamina is for one game in total. And a lot of the times I want to play it for fun. At the end of the day, I have Friday off. I want to play Heroes. I want to sit down and play my favorite game. But I stop myself because come Saturday filming, come Sunday filming, come Monday filming, come Tuesday streaming, come Wednesday streaming, come Thursday podcast, I will be burned out. And I have to take that day for myself. And it sucks. I really love playing this game for fun. And it's really important that I take that personal time with the game and play it offline and have those personal experiences to talk about on the show, and then just ones that aren't shared, that empower my love to continue doing what I'm doing for that game.
Yeah, I think that's well put. Yeah, I mean, we watch, Katie and I watch a ton of stuff too, like really into the Fastest Car series on Netflix right now. I'm not going to make content about that. What the hell am I going to talk about? How cool is it that there was a 1,029 horsepower minivan? I guess I'm doing it right now. It was pretty rad. But, yeah, just take some personal time, whatever it is, whether it's doing chores around the house or actually taking a short weekend to Orlando to just get away. It's nice. It's very nice. And over the holiday break, I really kind of noticed the importance of playing games I don't do shows about. It's kind of important for my sanity. It also helps me get a larger view of the gaming landscape as a whole, which I think is good for the shows.
Getting out has been crazy important. It's been really nice to have the core guys to play with, both D&D and Heroes, and kind of build this feeling of a family out here, because we are kind of isolated. So I just love the area and the weather and everything about it. When we go on a walk and I see people just watching their kids play in driveways, like that kind of stuff invigorates me, because they're not yelling at each other about video games or politics. And I go, oh, wait, that's just Twitter. It's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone in this grocery store doesn't hate each other.
You need some self-focus.
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot lately, just because I'm very stressed out with the state of the world. And for me, it seems like the more personal check boxes I create and then check off, the better I sleep at night.
Yeah.
So I would recommend doing that. Sadly, it doesn't sound like Skype is going to behave anymore, so I think we just call it here.
Fair enough.
So before we go, round the table, Kyle, where can folks find you?
You can find me this week over at twitch.tv/Kyle Ferguson. Check that out. There's things coming.
Sweet. I am Garrett Art on Twitter. All of the other podcasts are at amove.tv. Friggin' Embrace the Spoilers is going weekly since Westworld is back. And when there's also a large movie we're covering, we'll be doing more than one episode in a week. So go check it out. Embrace the Spoilers wherever podcasts can be found. And also check out nomoonart.com. That's my graphic design portfolio. If you need a graphic designer, or if you would like to book an hour lesson with me for a variety of topics, you can check that out over at nomoonart.com. That's going to wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week for the next Weeksauce. But until then, good luck and have fun.
Take care.
Fuck you, Skype.
I'm hearing my own feedback buzz, and so
Oh, really?
it's a good place to stop. Yeah, I'm getting back, so I can only imagine what you're hearing.
Yeah, you don't sound great. I don't know what's causing it. We've done all we can do.
Yep.
We'll call it there.
Yeah. Just walk away.
Just walk away. All right. Thanks, chat room. Sorry for the shitty audio. Did what we could. Yeah. See you tomorrow for your chicken. Kyle, you and I will be back Thursday.
That's correct.
See you then.